Greetings and welcome to Chant a Day. We are here on the 10th of May. We are getting closer and closer to the summer. I'm telling you, it's coming up. The summer is here, y'all. It is coming. Today's Psalm, oh my goodness, I love it. Psalm 108. This is a song and it's titled, With Jah, I and I shall do valiantly. And when I looked up the word valiant, um, valiantly, with courage or determination. So valiantly is with courage and determination. And I'm going to start taking notes because these words are vocabulary words that I can share with my students. So valiant is with courage, to do something with courage and determination. Okay? So, yes, I'm a teacher. This is what I do. So, as we look at the psalm today, the title of it is with the Most High, with Jah, with love, righteousness, mercy, kindness. Remember, behind all of these labels, there is truth, righteousness, justice, and there is a sense and ability to be merciful and kind and compassionate. So as we look at the psalm, we want to, go with love, and we have to go with that in a valiant way, with courage and determination, because it's hard. We got some things going on that's hard, and with that we have to be courageous. We have to be determined to do good, determined to stay on the righteous path, determined to want to give kindness and mercy and compassion and communication. Look at what happened in Florida. Just I saw it just on the news with this officer knocking on the door, open the door, and instead of asking questions, he just starts shooting. So he saw a gun in the person's hand and didn't, come on now. What is really going on? So we have to we have to be aware that the world is not a good place. The world is full of confusion. And because of that, we have an advocate, and that advocate is righteousness, mercy, love, kindness, and respect, compassion, and honor, and sacred happiness, and health. All of that is inclusive. So let's start with Psalm 108, and it is about 13 verses. So here we go. Verse 1, I heart is steadfast, O Jah. So your heart is steadfast. It's keeping fast in the righteousness of the Most High. It's keeping fast in that way. So in verse 1, it keeps on with how is your heart going to be keeping steadfast? You're going to chant. You're going to make melody with your full being. Okay, exclamation mark. You're going to make melody with your full being. And in the Psalm 108 verse 2, it says, awake, O harp instruments. So it's like calling these instruments to awake. Because the instruments are going to wake up the dawn. The dawn is going to arise and awaken. In verse 3, I will give thanks to the Most High, to the Almighty. It didn't say to give thanks to a person or another human being. It says to give thanks to the Most High among all the peoples. So when someone gives me something, I usually respond with give thanks. Sometimes they may not know that language, so I have to explain that to them, that I am thanking you, but I'm thanking the source of you that allowed you to do something kind for me. So I'm giving the honor and the glory to who it is deserving of giving, and the reason of our being, and the reason for the seasons, and the reason that we are able to walk in light and love and kindness and mercy, because it comes from a source, and that source is ever living and ever sure and ever pure. Okay, so in verse 4, well, in verse 3, it keeps on about what are you going to do? You're going to also give thanks, but you're also going to chant Isis. You're going to make a melodious song that is going to be among the nations. So you're going to chant, you're going to be chanting, and I see this in churches, in places of worship where they're chanting Isis. I don't want to use the word sing praises. I want to use the deeper word that liberates, is to chant music, to chant a song. Chant a summer day, remember? So you're chanting a song, not sinning. Remember, we have to go and sin no more in our thoughts, our words, and in our work. So that's why I always ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of the Most High. Selah and Selah again, because that's important, that we go with words that are powerfully implosive when it comes to love and kindness and righteousness and mercy and compassion. So the steadfast love in verse 4 is mentioned. Again, remember in verse 1, my heart is steadfast. Well, in verse 4, I steadfast love is great above the heavens, and the faithfulness reaches to the clouds. So the steadfast love of the Most High is above. That's why it's always written, seek for what's above and not for what's below. You better lay low, Satan. You get back. So you are going to seek for what is above. And seeking for what is above is, easier said than done, because we're so in this, where gravity has kept us here, right? We're on the ground, boots on the ground, and there is a lot of different distractions out here that may cause us to, have doubtful thoughts of the Most High, this invisible, creator. However, that is not true. The creator is not invisible. The creator is visible. It's visible in love and kindness and mercy, compassion, and integrity, honesty. The creator is visible in those attributes. So when you see that happening, you see the creator. Goodness to life. You see the creator. So the steadfast love of the Most High is above the heavens, and the faithfulness of the Most High reaches to the clouds. And the clouds are where? The clouds aren't down. The clouds are up. So it's in verse 5 now, it's like, be exalted, O Jah, above the heavens. Okay? The Almighty glory is above all the earth, exclamation mark. And in verse 6, that your beloved ones may be delivered. Give salvation through righteousness and answer I and I. So we're looking at righteousness as a deliverer. Yeah, that's going to be the thing that's going to deliver. It's righteousness. So get on that. Get on that. Okay, get on that. And that is going to be our future. You're going to be given this future of righteousness through the Most High's kindness, mercy, and compassion. And you're going to be answered. You're going to be answered. Okay? So in verse 7, the Most High has promised and vowed a ancient sacredness. And then it's in quotes. With exultation, I will divide up Shechem and portion out the valley of Succoth. And verse 8, Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is I helmet, Judah is I and I scepter. Moab is I and I wash basin. Upon Edom I cast I and I shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. So from verse 7 to 9, we have this song. The whole psalm is a song. But in this verse 7 to 9, we're talking about Shechem, the valley of Succoth, Gilead, Manasseh, Ephraim, Judah, Moab, Edom, Philistia. We're talking about these ancient times. And in verse 10, it's a question. Who will bring I and I to the fortified place? This is a fortified place. And the fortified, when we talk about something that's fortified, it's a defensive protection against an attack. So the Most High is going to what? Bring I to a safe place. Bringing I to a safe place. And this place is a protection against an attack. So we are going to be brought to a safe place. Okay? And then there's a next question. There's 3 questions in verse 10 and starting with verse 11. So verse 10, the question is, who will lead me to Edom? Right? Remember, because upon Edom I cast I and I shoe. Casting your shoe meaning you're on sacred ground. Remember the Most High out of the fire told Moses, you are on holy ground. You better remove your sandals. You're on holy ground. So that is Edom. And the question is, who will lead I and I to this place, this sacred place? Have the Most High not rejected I and I? This is a question, right? And then it speaks of in verse 11, you do not go out with I and I armies. The Most High doesn't go out with I and I armies. So in verse 12, it's like, oh, grant I and I strength against the enemy. Okay. So David is making statements. He's asking questions, and he's looking at, he's looking for strength from the enemy, because for vain is the salvation of man. What does that mean? That means that the future of man is vanity. Everything that mankind is getting in terms of monetary or financial gain is towards vanity. Yeah, it is. And I can attest that for myself. When I have to buy stuff to brush my teeth, to wash my face, to clean myself, to put my makeup on, all that, and that's why it's important for us to not be vain, not have this vanity, and not be running after that. I mentioned that to someone. I was like, I can go live in a shack, a little tiny little house, and I'll be good. I'll be good. I don't need all the trappings of the world, TV, video, music, news, electricity, blah, 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 blah. I don't need all of that. Okay, I can get my little candles for electricity, and I'll be good. So this verse 12 is really an it's exclamation mark, like the salvation of man is vanity. So the future of man is vain, right? And the ending verse 13, with God, with the Most High, with righteousness, mercy, love, kindness, all of that is representative of the Most High, right? We're going to do valiantly. With that, we're going to be doing valiantly. We're going to be courageous and determined. Once we are moving with the goodness, moving with the righteousness and love and kindness and respect, that is so key. So in verse 13, with the Most High, I and I must do valiantly, because doing valiantly, the Most High is who is going to tread down I and I foes. It did not speak of you going and doing it yourself and dealing with these enemies. Leave these people alone. Let the Most High deal with them. They're going to be dealt with. Believe me, it's too much wickedness in this place for it not to be dealt with. Do not put your hand to wickedness, right? Don't do that. You know, the and it's I've experienced this with people. My son passed away, and his dad is in a like a home, like he's functioning, he's able to function, but his son is, I guess his conservator or something like that. And when my son passed, his son, my ex's husband's son, he wanted to financially contribute to the burial of my son, and his son said no. His son's wife was like, no, we're not giving you any of your own money to help your own son's burial. We're not doing that. So we have wickedness, I'm telling you. Folks are wicked. They're about money, they're about greed, and they're about vanity. Exactly what the psalm is talking about right here. That that's the salvation of those folks. Vanity. They want money. They want, waiting for this man to die to take his money. Somebody needs to call Adult Protective Services, because this man, I believe, is being financially abused. He couldn't even give $1 to help his son's burial because his other son and wife is saying no. How ridiculous is that? And this man loved his son, and you are going to stop him from helping his son? This bothered me to the point where I had to leave it to the Most High. I had to leave it to the Most High and put it there at the Most High's feet and leave it there. Because these are people who speak of believing in God, but yet they are contrary to what God is about. Mercy, love, compassion, man. Have some kind of compassion. That was not just your father's son, that was your brother. Even though it's a different mother, it's still your brother. And this is how you treat people who are supposed to be related to you? Biologically? I'm afraid of people who are not related to you, what you're going to do to them. So somebody needs to intervene with that, because something is amiss. Okay? When it comes to older families, when people get up in age and their children are taking care of them, their children could be taking care of them because they want their money. They may have nefarious agendas. And, it's very interesting because there was a picture in my children's dad's house in where he stays. He stays in like an apartment complex for elderly, folks. And he had a picture, because he's a playwright. He had a poster of one of his plays. And the picture is nicely framed and everything. It was a poster. And on the poster for one of his plays was a picture of me, his ex-wife. Well, guess what? The son came into his apartment and took the picture out and said, "This gotta go," and sent it to my daughter. How can you do that in somebody else's house? You are coming into their house and taking a picture that they have and removing it because you have some kind of agenda or some kind of feelings about that. It's like, wait a minute, that is adult abuse. When you go into an elder house and take something out of their house for your own reasons, Leave the man alone. He's older. He's in his last days. And this is what you're doing to the man? Because the picture is not your mother? It's a picture of me? That is really a sickness. So I know you watch my live. I know everybody kind of watches it and looks at my live, but you're going to hear this from me today. Okay? You're going to hear this from me today. Stop being a wicked. Stop being wicked. Stop it. I'm going to say this to everybody who's got an adult parent, who's got a parent, who's an adult with a parent who is older. Stop yelling at them. Stop speaking to them like they're below you because they're older and they're slower and they may not be comprehending, in the fullest of their minds. Stop doing that to them. Love these people. Have compassion and mercy. I know people who speak to their mother in such a horrible way. I'm like, that's how you speak to your mother? In such a doggish way? Stop that. That's really going to come right back around because karma is a bitch hole, okay? And it don't play. What you give is what you're going to get back. You ever heard of what you reap, what you sow is what you're going to reap. And you're going to reap it because the reaper coming. And whoever sowing wickedness going to get that. It's coming quick with the quickness. So when you see something in your life going amiss, guess what? Something you've done that you need to check. So I'm going to get off of that because I want to go into what the verse of the day is today. And the verse of the day, the verse of the day today, it is so powerful, y'all. Oh my goodness. When I got up and looked at the word of the day, I said, I look forward to sharing this with you all because it's from Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. And it says, when your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the two of you. When they listen to you, you have won them over. So like I told my daughter, you got to stand up. You got to go talk to your older brother. You got to go and point out his fault between you and him. Speak to him and talk to him. Don't be afraid because he's made my daughter cry several times. Don't be afraid. Okay? Because Matthew chapter, what is that? It says chapter 18. Chapter 18, verse 15. When your brother or sister does something wrong or makes you feel lower than yourself or does something nefarious, go and point out their fault. Tell them, look, you wrong for doing that. You wrong for doing this. You wrong for not allowing your dad to support his son's death financially. You're wrong for doing that. You're wrong for taking that your dad's picture of his play out of his house and sending it off to someone. You're wrong for that. So just between the two of you, you go and you talk to the person. You don't talk behind their back because I'm not related to my children's dad. He is not my dad. I'm not related to him. That's between them, right? You go and communicate that. So that's our verse for today. And let's look at the word for today because the word for today, let's see. Oops. The word for today, I got to get it from my other email. The word for today Let's see what it is real quick. It is anticipation. I love that one. Anticipation. Anticipation. So my positive expectations energize and invigorate me. So in the word today, anticipation, Friday, May 10th, having things to look forward to brings excitement and sweetness to life. I'm looking forward to the summer. There is a positive feeling of expectancy and the feeling of connection to people and events that broadens my perspective and enriches I and I. When I am feeling lonely, when life feels flat without surprises or opportunities to grow and try new things, I take this as a prompt to rekindle I and I zeal and get involved in new pursuits. Making new friends, embarking on a course of learning, or getting creative in the arts can strengthen I and I growth in anticipation for fun, challenge, and a greater experience of life. The Almighty righteousness, goodness, mercy, love, kindness, compassion is in every new experience and in the sweetness of anticipation I feel as I look forward to doing new things and meeting new people. So Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, I am assured, or it says confident, but I'm going to find another word. Confident, self-assured. So I am self-assured, right, of this, that the one who began a good work among I and I will bring this good work to completion, okay, through righteousness, mercy, love, kindness, respect, honesty, integrity. Philippians chapter 1 verse 6. So when we look at Jesus Christ, behind that is love, compassion, mercy. Remember, he had mercy, he was all of these things. So I am self-assured that the one who began a good work among I and I will bring that good work to completion through the day of that one's who is righteousness, mercy, love, and kindness, right? So I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of the Most High. And that is our word today. And I wanted to also end with the Max Lucado's words here. And it's called, the title of this is I Call You Friends. And it's from John 15:15. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know what his master is doing. However, I call you friends, because I have made known to you everything I heard from my Father. John 15:15. So Jesus described for his followers what he came to do. You know, he came to build a relationship with people. He came to take away enmity, to take away the strife, to take away the isolation that existed between the Most High and man, goodness, mercy, love, and kindness, and humans. Once he bridged that, once he overcame that, he said, I will call you friends. So that's why people always say, I have a friend in Jesus. And when we look at the word, the name Jesus, we have a friend in righteousness. We have a friend in love, kindness, mercy, compassion. That's our friend. That is our friend. And the labels and names and the divisions of religiosity and, all of this makes it confusing and gives us a hands up when it comes to wanting to even go to church and listen to the word, or even want to read the word, or even want to do good, or even want to have compassion for people. So That's why I translate the psalm to liberate the word so that you can see what that means and what it's about. It's not about this person is a Jesus lover and that person is a Rasta and this person is a Catholic and that person is a Muslim and it's too divisive. It's too divisive. We have to stop being divisive and we have to come together in love, compassion, mercy, and using faith ministries to do that, to bring everybody together as one in the love of the Most High. You love the Most High. You love to chant. You love to chant melodious songs to them. You have to play instruments of them for the Most High. Let's come together and do that. Just because you down there about talking, you saying Buddha, or this one is saying Mohammed, or that one is calling on Jesus. All of these names represent love and kindness. So whatever language you speak, whatever language that you are speaking, that's your personal business. Whatever name you call on, that's your personal business. As long as you're not out here killing, murdering, stealing, cheating, lying, and doing all this nefarious situations, then what is the problem with you calling Selassie the first, for example? That means the power of the Trinity is first. What is the matter with that? Because he's a black man 5 feet tall from Ethiopia? You can't accept that, but you can accept what the white man, the colonialist and the capitalist gave you. That's, okay. If you want to accept, that's fine. But do not discriminate. Do not hate on ones who are calling on love differently than you are. Okay? That's why we have this homophobic situation, because when people loving each other and they're a man and a man, a woman and a woman, they're like, oh my gosh, that's a sin. You're going to go to hell. And people become God, pointing the finger. And when 3 fingers are pointing back at them, don't judge folks. You don't know what folks are doing when they close their doors. That's their business. Are they coming out there doing it to you in public? During the time of Noah, when they were all fornicating all over the place, having sex out in the open, these things were being done, and then they called it homosexual. They called it, man laying down with man and all this, and Sodom and Gomorrah was about that. That's what they call it, sodomy. Having, relations sexually in this way with a man and a man, when a man and a woman could do that same kind of act. But because we are about dividing, we're about discriminating, we're about hate. That's what the world is about. The world is about hate. And I don't talk about peace. I don't want peace. I don't want your peace. I want justice. I don't want your peace. I want love. I don't want a peace plan. I want a love plan, because peace is the diploma you get in the cemetery. Rest in peace. I don't want that. I'm alive and living, so I want love. Love is an action word. It's a verb. It's action. It's doing. So let's do that. Let's give love, because once you give love, guess what? You're going to have a peaceful situation. So what is another word for peace? It's freedom from disturbance. It's tranquility. So tranquility plan, not a peace plan, tranquility plan. Okay? So the term peace is used in the New Testament in at least 5 different ways. The first one is the absence of war or chaos. right? Peace as a right relationship with God or with Christ. Peace as a good relationship among people. Peace as an individual virtue or state, that is tranquility or serenity, right? And peace, um, okay. So there's an article, peace in the New Testament. The word peace, together with its derivatives, um, is one of those terms which more often than not is translated literally and in many translations. So that means that in most cases, peace would be translated with the same word throughout the translation. The concept of peace in the Old Testament primarily refers to fullness, total health, total welfare. So that's what, total health and total welfare. Peace is the absence of war. Um, and what else does it say? It covers the sum total of God's blessing to a person who belongs to the covenant community. Our focus of attention in this short study, so this is a study exploring what the word peace means. Peace as the absence of war or chaos. This is the usual way in which peace was understood in the Greek language of Jesus's day. In ordinary speech today, this term also to be the primary connotation of peace in many languages. So that is how peace is defined. So Peter Tosh said, peace is a certificate you get in the grave. That's what he says. So that is also another way peace is used. Okay, so that is the psalm today. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to end now with our chant a psalm a day, steel pulse. I love this. And I want everybody to have a beautiful rest of your day. As I keep on grieving for my son who passed away, I will never stop talking about my son that passed away. Never. I'll keep on talking about him all the time because I miss him every day. I miss hearing his voice. I miss him calling me on the phone. Yeah, you're gonna miss folks when they're not there. So that's why it's good to be there for the person. And I wish I had did things differently. So let's chant a psalm a day. Have a blessed day, everybody. Selah and Selah again.